Lieutenant Calari stood at the center of the orbital command hall, confident and composed, ready to give a short 5-minute war talk about Earth's military potential. Around her sat high-ranking officers, all expecting a calm, data-driven presentation. On the side stood Sergeant Cole Rennick, the only human in the room, silent, unarmed, and wearing a plain black uniform with no symbols. Calari tapped the control panel, and the first slide appeared: statistics about Earth's population. The second slide showed human weapon production. Everything was normal. Then came slide 3, human combat strategies. The lights in the room flickered, alarms suddenly blared, and the emergency sirens screamed through the station. Everyone jumped in confusion, thinking it was a drill gone wrong, but before anyone could react, something more terrifying happened. Sergeant Cole was no longer there. 1 second he stood near the wall, and the next he was gone without a sound, without opening a door, without any trace. Calari froze, heart pounding, staring at the empty space where the human had stood. This wasn't part of the plan. This wasn't part of any briefing. In that moment, she realized something was very wrong, and the real lesson about humans was just beginning. As the sirens echoed through the station, Lieutenant Calari immediately ordered a full lockdown, activating high-level protocols meant to trap even shape-shifting assassins. Doors sealed shut, cameras scanned every hallway, and the station's AI began thermal and motion tracking, but there was no sign of Sergeant Cole. He hadn't used a vent, a passage, or any known exit. It was as if he had vanished into the air. Moments later, a second alert came in: unauthorized access to the weapons storage bay. No breach was detected, yet 5 advanced plasma rifles were missing from locked cases, all removed without force. Calari's team replayed security footage, but it showed only still air, no human, no movement, just weapons quietly disappearing. Then, the main communication channels went dead, one by one, cut from the inside. Cameras began shutting down in patterns that looked like a path heading straight toward the heart of the station. Calari's calm expression cracked. The station's systems, trusted for decades, were no longer under their control. She realized they hadn't lost the human. He was still inside, but now the station was blind, the command team deaf, and the most dangerous creature on board was hunting in silence. Lieutenant Calari didn't wait any longer. She sent her best security team, 12 armored specialists trained to fight in zero gravity and survive alien ambushes, directly to Sector 4, where the last weapon alert had come from. They moved in perfect formation, weapons drawn, sensors active, ready to face any threat. The doors sealed behind them, and the station went quiet again. 10 minutes passed. No updates. 15 more. Still silence. Calari called for a status report. No reply. She ordered the doors reopened. When they finally slid apart, what the team found was terrifying. The room was empty. No bodies, no signs of struggle, no blood, just 12 sets of armor neatly placed in a line on the floor, as if the soldiers had simply vanished out of them. Their weapons were stacked beside them, untouched. Calari's hands trembled. The security team hadn't fought. They hadn't even fired a single shot. It was as if someone had walked through them, unseen and unstoppable. A cold realization settled over her. This wasn't a rogue soldier. This was a message. The human wasn't running. He was showing them, piece by piece, how powerless they truly were. And he wasn't done yet. The station's lights dimmed to emergency red as backup power kicked in, leaving shadows dancing across the command walls. Lieutenant Calari stood still, surrounded by silence and fear, every officer on edge, weapons shaking in their hands. Then, without warning, the main screen flickered to life, not a breach, but a deliberate transmission. A calm voice echoed through the hall, steady and clear. It was Sergeant Cole. "I came unarmed. I remained quiet. But you wanted to measure humanity with slides and charts. Now, you've seen a glimpse of us." His voice was not angry, not proud, just controlled, like someone stating facts too heavy for emotion. As he spoke, images flashed on the screen, the exact path he took through the station, all blind spots he used, every moment he disabled systems, all done without violence, just precision. "This is not an attack," he said. "This is restraint." Then the screen showed the shuttle bay, where Cole now sat calmly on the floor, no weapons in sight, hands folded, waiting. Kalari felt her chest tighten. He had disabled their strongest defenses, removed their best soldiers, and returned before they could react. Not to escape, but to prove that if he had wanted to, no one would be left. The command room was frozen in silence as Lieutenant Kalari walked alone into the debriefing chamber where Sergeant Cole sat, calm as ever, with a glass of water in his hand and a quiet look in his eyes that was neither proud nor cold. It was controlled, deeply focused, and unreadable. No guards stood nearby. No one had dared. The officers watching through the glass screens kept their distance, as if proximity alone might provoke another vanishing act. Kalari sat down across from him, her voice low but steady as she asked, "Why show us this?" Cole looked at her with the kind of calm that didn't belong to diplomats or soldiers, it belonged to survivors. "Because your council thinks war is about numbers," he replied, "and they thought 5 minutes was enough to understand humans." He slid a small silver cube across the table. "This holds records, not public stories, but real ones. Operations that don't exist on your charts. Moments when humans were pushed beyond reason and still came back standing." Kalari took the cube, unsure whether she even wanted to open it. Cole stood, gave her a nod of respect, and walked out of the room. No one stopped him. By the time she reviewed the contents, her hands trembled. Footage of humans holding collapsed trenches for weeks without sleep, using their own bodies as shields to protect wounded allies, sacrificing limbs to save units, surviving alien environments that killed entire species in hours. This wasn't war. It was something raw, something that lived in the bones, passed down from a world that had forced humans to adapt not with strength, but with unstoppable will. When the council gathered days later, there was no debate. Earth would not be used. Earth would be respected. And above all, Earth would be avoided unless truly needed. The third slide was quietly removed from future presentations, never shown again. Instead, a single line was added to the official military database. Human behavior cannot be predicted or contained under pressure. Proceed with humility. After that day, even the bravest commanders stopped calling humans potential allies. They started calling them by a new name: quiet warnings. Because when humans spoke gently and acted calmly, it was not peace. It was the silence before something impossible.